If you are in a mandatory evacuation area, you need to get to high ground now. This is the time. There won't be another request because it will be too late.
That time probably is now. If you're in the Fort Myers area, Lee County, Collier County, that looks like that will be the landfall area, Kelly. This is a major hurricane. Top winds are now above 125 miles per hour sustained.
That's right. We'll have another update with our hurricane expert coming up shortly. But first of all, let's give you the very latest that we have from the National Hurricane Center and our Hurricane Hunter flight information showing that our pressure has now dropped to 954 millibars or 28.17 inches of mercury. The flight level, by the way, at 9140 feet. And the eye information is that it's about 8 miles wide, and the maximum flight winds have been about 162 miles per hour.
And because of that, the new advisory should come in very shortly, signifying this is a Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale. And Kelly, look at the outer bands now coming in. Unfortunately, you cannot really do much from here on out, folks. Anybody from Charlotte Harbor southward, just batten down the hatches.
And of course, with the outer rain bands, we are dealing with tornadoes, some severe weather further inland. Central Polk County remains under a tornado warning. We also have tornado warnings in effect for Okeechobee County, Osceola County. That's in east central Florida. That tornado warning going until 2:25 Eastern time. And these storms have generally been moving towards the north between 30 and 40 miles per hour.
Now, the interstates are open. Interstate 75 is open. Interstate 10 is open as well. And Kelly, if folks really have to get out at this very last minute, do so immediately.
All right, and again, avoid Interstate 75, avoid eastbound Interstate 10, and of course mandatory closures are being considered here. So if you have not evacuated, you're going to ride out the storm. Be aware that you're really going to have to bunker down now, get away from the windows, have all your emergency supplies on hand. You will need them for the next 12 to 24 hours. Again, hurricane warnings in effect for the west central coast of Florida, including Fort Myers, where now it appears that the landfall of this hurricane will occur within the next couple of hours. And of course, with the landfalling tropical system, we are concerned about tornadoes, and that tornado watch box remains in effect for Central Florida, including Disney World. And by the way, they did close the theme parks earlier today over towards Busch Gardens in Tampa as well. So really, it's a better idea to just kind of stay at home, get away from the windows, and avoid using the electricity too. In fact, some cases, they've turned off the electricity in downtown St. Petersburg just to avoid any problems with the power grid here. Look at the radar. You can see the center of circulation just off the coastline here. Still very well-defined hurricane, packing winds of over 125 miles an hour. The county shaded in red, by the way. Those are the tornado warnings I just mentioned. Now, as we take a look at the broad picture of the country, you'll notice all the rain kind of heading up towards the mid-Atlantic coast as well. Oh, by the way, I want to mention another tornado warning has just been issued now for southern Lake County. That's in east central Florida until 2:30 Eastern time. Again, this is pretty typical of a landfalling tropical system to have tornadoes, and that tornado warning does go until 2:30 Eastern time. That system, that tornado, is moving toward the north at 35 miles an hour. So watch out around Ferndale, Claremont, and also near Howie in the Hills. By the bottom of the hour, this storm will be upon you. All right, let's take a look at the big picture. Also, we're concerned about flooding. We've had a lot of rain along the eastern seaboard with a frontal boundary. So we have saturated ground. Flood watches remain in effect, not just for the Sunshine State, but for the coastal sections of Georgia, a lot of South Carolina, as well as Raleigh, North Carolina. You're under a flood watch as well, with showers and thunderstorms likely, and they will be picking up in intensity as we go through the overnight hours. Even here in the Northeast, we've had the remnants of Bonnie, Charley coming your way for the second half of the weekend, so we are concerned about flooding here too along the Hudson River Valley of New York, down towards the Poconos in Pennsylvania, where already we've had some flood warnings this morning. And as you can see, the travel weather for today showing an impact on Interstate 95 as well as the New York State Thruway. A little bit of wet weather on the north end of I-75 in Michigan, as well as here along the Door Peninsula of Wisconsin. A couple of showers are possible here. And we've even had flooding concerns in Southern California with a disturbance that worked its way onshore. A little unheard of for this time of the year, but very active even here around Las Vegas on over towards Albuquerque. Bill?
Kelly, again, we have a tornado warning for Lake County. The tornado watch as well has been expanded northward from the Storm Prediction Center. That now runs up around Daytona Beach and Flagler Beach. That goes into tonight. That does take in Orlando. Lake County now has a tornado warning, as Kelly mentioned, as does Osceola County. Watching in the Orlando area, This weather going downhill in a big way here. These are, again, the tornado threats. Also watching the water increasing, the tide coming in. The storm surge could be in excess of 10 feet. I'd really watch that area from Captiva and Sanibel Island southward. You can see the eye wall. You can see the eye now. The wind's gusting nearly 50 miles per hour at the airport in Naples. And Kelly, that's probably pretty misleading, I'm sure, on the beachfront there at Marco and at Sanibel and Captiva Island. Those wind gusts are an awful lot higher.
So again, tropical storm force winds are being felt in Naples. The hurricane force winds are yet to come. Stay with us as we provide you coverage of Hurricane Charley.
Hey, Maddie. Hey, you better get up.
No way.
Hey, Maddie, come on.
Cutting class.
Class?
Take notes for me.
Man, you're dreaming.
You're gonna be late for work. College is over.
Rise and shine.
Tick-tock.
Welcome to the real world. A place where the same State Farm agent you've always counted on for great rates on car insurance can help with information on credit cards, renter's insurance, even auto loans.
Hurricane Charley. Where will it head next? How should you prepare? We're tracking the storm with live reports from the field.
Going to be a rough one. Biggest evacuation since Hurricane Floyd.
We are starting to get down to the last hours, if not the last minutes here.
And in-depth expert analysis throughout the day. Find travel delays, see projected paths, continually updated maps, and additional footage at weather.com. Charley coverage continues right here on the Weather Channel. So stay tuned as we keep you ahead of the storm.
Know what tonight is? No? Date night. Renting a movie. Now that's romantic. Yeah, and if you'd ordered that same movie on pay-per-view, you wouldn't have had to leave the room. Now that's romantic.
Hello?
I don't believe I know you.
I know you.
What do you want from me?
From the terrifying story by Stephen King. Johnny Depp, Secret Window.
Honey? You still here?
DirecTV pay-per-view. Entertainment has never been so convenient.
With NFL Sunday Ticket from DirecTV, you can go everywhere the action is.
Up top. Or not.
From stadium to stadium.
Simon says arms out.
All around the league.
Good.
NFL Sunday Ticket is the closest you can get to being at every game. Check out the most games each and every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket, only from DirecTV. Stay tuned. Hurricane coverage will continue on the Weather Channel. Right now, here's your local on the 8s.
We have severe weather associated with our powerful, dangerous Hurricane Charley. Tornado warning just issued now for southern Lake County. That's in east central Florida. That warning going until 2:30 Eastern time. This tornado developing about 29 miles south of Claremont or 5 miles west of Haines City, and it is moving towards the north at 35 miles per hour.
At the moment, nothing in Orlando, but in Okeechobee County and Osceola County, a tornado warning as well until 2:25. Storms are expected over the Lake Kissimmee area. Then they're heading up around Harmony and St. Cloud by about 2:10 Eastern Daylight Time. So watch that Interstate 4 corridor very carefully the next couple of hours. Welcome back. I'm Bill Keneally.
And I'm Kelly Cass. We continue to monitor the progress of Hurricane Charley, which is yet to make landfall along the western seaboard of Florida, but it's already causing problems further inland.
Major water concerns the next few hours. We have a landfall south of Tampa. What are the implications? Let's go right to Dr. Steve Lyons. Steve?
Well, Bill, the buzzsaw is heading right toward the greater Port Charlotte area here in Fort Myers area. Currently Category 4 hurricane. Now that could produce very extreme damage wind-wise, but also flood-wise. The Captiva Island area is right here. Of course, Naples is over here. Now, you're going to be missed just to the north at Naples, although it's still blustery and the weather's going downhill, winds gusting to 55 to 60 miles per hour right now. But what's going to happen here when this gets on shore in about 2 hours? We're very concerned about the flood potential from surge, but also the wind when we get up to Category 4. In this range, we're looking at extensive to extreme damage. So if you're not in a well-reinforced constructed home or a poorly built home, you need to get out of it and go next door to your neighbor's house that's built better for the next 5 hours as this system makes landfall and moves inland. We can see a lot of roofs blown off if they're poorly constructed homes, signs down in the landfall area. We can see all kinds of trees down. Power outages will be widespread in the area of landfall. Now, the other big problem is the water level rise. We're going to see a significant surge here, and locally it could be as high as 18 feet. In a Category 4 hurricane in this area, we can see water rises as high as 18. It's going to come up in a hurry. It's moving at 20 miles per hour to the northeast. That accentuates the height of the surge, but it also makes things go from nothing to a very big water rise very quickly. So don't be outside near the ocean right now. You should be well away from the coast on high ground because the water is going to rise very quickly over the next 1 to 3 hours in the greater Fort Myers area, particularly near the Port Charlotte area. Now up toward the Tampa Bay area, you could get some blustery winds, but it looks like the system's going to move well to the south of you. Some surge in the area, but not all that much of a problem up that way. This is the area we're concerned about, basically from Sarasota southward to just north of Naples. That's the area that's going to be impacted the most, and primarily the greater Fort Myers area. And you can see, think of the surge of 18 feet in some areas. A lot of these areas are well below 12 feet. So Sanibel Island, if you're out there, boy, you better be in the highest possible spot you can be. In the meantime, the system's going to continue to move to the northeast, and it's possible the thing could come off the east coast and reform and be a threat to the Carolinas. Bill, Kelly.
Definitely storm preparedness time farther inland and on the eastern side of Florida, Kelly.
That's right. We even have tropical storm warnings that have been extended all the way up the North Carolina coastline. So you need to make sure you shutter or board outside windows, store your lawn furniture, anchor any outdoor items, and make sure you have a full tank of gas as well as some cash on hand.
Quicken Loans, America's home loan experts, asks homeowners, are you looking to make a home improvement?
We'd love to remodel our kitchen.
We just need the money to do it.
Or are you looking to pay off high-rate credit cards?
Reducing my monthly payments would be great.
Introducing Equity Online, the do-it-yourself home equity line of credit, only from Quicken Loans. Call this toll-free number now, and you can be approved for a low-rate home equity line of credit of up to $250,000 in 10 minutes or less.
10 minutes? And I can plan my dream vacation?
Use your money for whatever you choose, and you can get your money in as little as 10 days. Call 800-575-9799 now, or go to QuickenLoans.com. With a few quick clicks, you can complete the entire process online. And because it's all online, there's no appraisal in most cases, no salesperson, and no paperwork. You can even schedule your closing whenever you want to, right in your own home.
I couldn't believe it was so easy.
Call now or go online to be approved for a home equity line of credit in just 10 minutes or less, even if you've just refinanced your home.
How about using it for my son's tuition?
School tuitions, home improvements, paying off high-rate credit cards, even taking the vacation of a lifetime. How you use your home equity line of credit is totally up to you. Call or go online for a low-rate home equity line of credit of up to $250,000. And you can be approved in as little as 10 minutes and get your money in as little as 10 days. Equity Online, exclusively from Quicken Loans, America's #1 online lender. With over $12 billion of home loans last year alone.
We got all our home loans from Quicken Loans. We'd never go anywhere else.
Call toll-free 800-575-9799 now. Or go to quickenloans.com to be approved for a low-rate home equity line of credit of up to $250,000 in 10 minutes or less. And get your money in 10 days or less with Equity Online. Quicken Loans, America's home loan experts.
We again have a hurricane about to make a landfall, folks. I want to take everybody into Fort Myers. Hurricane Charley is rapidly approaching this area. I'd say a landfall expected somewhere in Lee County or Collier County over the next couple of hours. The winds are 46 miles per hour out at the airport in Naples, but I'm sure they're a lot higher out there on the beaches.
And tornadoes have also been a threat with this landfalling system, so watch out even around Disney World. We're going to have another update with our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. He'll be up at 10 past the hour to take a closer look at the storms impacting Central Florida.
Kelly, this will be a major storm surge event too, and I want to emphasize again, Collier County and Lee County especially, prepare for the worst.
And our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons, will also join Kristen Dodd and Rich Johnson, so please stay with us as we continue our coverage of Charley.
I didn't know what to do.
Sometimes it's hard to remember my own grandson's name.
He had trouble doing even everyday things.
These problems may not be normal aging. They could be early signs of Alzheimer's. And studies show the sooner Alzheimer's is treated, the better. Call now to get the memory checklist, free from the makers of Aricept, the #1 prescribed Alzheimer's medicine. It tells you what to look for and if it's time to see a doctor. If it's mild to moderate Alzheimer's, Aricept can help. It is well tolerated, but not for everyone. Some people experience fainting. Common side effects are nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, not sleeping well, muscle cramps, feeling tired, or not feeling hungry. In studies, these were usually mild and temporary.
Aricept is helping him do better.
Call 1-800-367-3487 for the answers you need. If it's Alzheimer's, Aricept can help you fight back.
Wouldn't it be convenient if getting your weather was this easy? Now it is. Desktop Weather by the Weather Channel. Always right here on your computer with all you need for every kind of weather. Always on, convenient, free from weather.com.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider. You can also get reliable forecasts from the Weather Channel through this radio station or newspaper.
Stay tuned. Hurricane coverage will continue on the Weather Channel. Right now, here's your local on the 8s. hurricane coverage continues on the Weather Channel.
Florida's west coast is heeding the call.
That's right. Good thing that folks have boarded up because Hurricane Charley is making itself felt at this hour. And good afternoon, I'm Kristen Dodd.
And I'm Rich Johnson. We remain in storm alert here at the Weather Channel. Hurricane Charley has sent tornadoes over South Florida, also now to Central Florida. It's caused wind damage in the Miami area also, and a tornado watch covers the central part of South Florida.
That's right, and Charley also showing signs of strengthening and now up to a Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale with winds up to 145 miles an hour. Take a look at Charley now having bypassed the Keys and making its way closer to the Fort Myers area.
Another vantage point with the radar showing that Charley continues to churn its way. It's heading toward the coast over the next few hours. It should be making landfall up toward Lee County, especially maybe Charlotte County, feeling the greatest of the impacts. And here's our Florida Gulf coastal warnings heading back over toward southwest Florida. Hurricane warnings up for essentially the west coast, and you need to have all preparations completed as of now, really. We have our best in the field as Charley heads up the coast.
That's right. Our Jeff Morrow is located in North Reddington Beach near Tampa. Jim Cantori is in Fort Myers, where they have already started to feel the impact of the storm. And Jim, what is going on there right now?
Well, Kristen, I got to tell you, when you're looking down the barrel of certainly the worst hurricane to hit Florida since Andrew in '92, and the potential of what is going to happen here, there's a lot of apprehension going on. I was at the hotel that we're staying at. When they named this thing a Category 4, you could just see people's mouths going like this because they know their homes are below 10 feet. They know their homes are below 12 feet and they're going to be flooded. And I want to tell you, don't miss this right now. If you live in Lee and Collier counties and you are right now at 12 feet or below, you need to move to higher ground. You got 2 hours tops, but I need to get you to higher ground because it's very, very important that you do not get in the way of this surge. When it comes in, that water is going to rise, and it's going to rise potentially with this hurricane 12 to 18 feet. So get to a shelter. They're open. Be calm about it. Get there. You got a couple of hours. But if not, you got to stay there and deal with it. All right. Here's what else is going on. Let me show you what's going on as we look into downtown Fort Myers. We have all these boats in the marina. Earlier on, we were talking about a Category 2, 5 to 10 foot potentially rising in this river. That alone would put a lot of these up on the docks. Now we're talking about a foot, possibly 14 inches coming up. So not only is it going to put the boats on the docks, but it's going to flood a lot of the downtown streets. You need to be off the streets in Fort Myers within the next hour and a half as we start to get this surge coming in. This is a very, very dangerous situation. I can't stress it enough. It continues to develop, and obviously we're going to continue to watch this move on in. But we have very, very limited time here in which to react, do it calmly, get things done. But I want you to higher ground. That's the first thing. Don't worry about the belongings. It's you that we want safe. All right? I hope you heard that, because I'm serious. Let's go up the road a piece. Tampa Bay, Jeff Morrow standing by North Reddington Beach. Jeff, how is the mood up there now that we have a Category 4 hurricane?
Jim, it is like night and day here. It kind of switched from, oh my goodness, the track this morning had it coming right up Tampa Bay. People were starting to, I wouldn't say panic. There was by no means any panic here, but they were extremely concerned. Now that it looks like it's coming in farther south, there's a little bit of a sigh of relief, but folks, by no means does that mean we're not going to get anything from this. We are going to get wind, we are going to get rain, but the fact that we have winds offshore, I think as this hurricane goes by, is going to help a lot. I don't think we're going to have the storm surge, although Tampa Bay definitely is going to get piled up on its western side. There is going to be some flooding, so again, you know, all that preparation was still put to good use in all the evacuations, and we're still going to get a heck of a storm, but we're not going to get what's going to happen down the coast. I don't think anybody wants that. St. Pete, 13-mile-an-hour winds right now. Tampa, 9 sustained, and Clearwater at about 10. Of course, those will be increasing as these outer bands start to come in. You may notice here as we come back live that I got my jacket on. We are starting to get a little bit of rain. There's really no wind to speak of right now, but again, we're going to watch this one come in with you, Jim, and our thoughts are with you because you're in the middle of it, boy, and it looks pretty nasty from this point. We'll keep you updated here as well. Now let's get back to Rich in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, our Jeff Morrow. And hurricane expert Dr. Steve Lyons joins us now with the latest information on Hurricane Charley. Now, a major hurricane. Steve?
Well, if you're wondering what it's going to be like the next 3 or 4 hours in the greater Fort Myers area or out of Captive Island, this is what's going to happen. The surge is starting to come in now. Landfall will be around 3:45 to 4 o'clock, somewhere in that area, and the water's going to come up anywhere from 12 to maybe 18 feet in some areas. And this is what it's going to look like on some of those barrier islands, and even in inland Fort Myers and the Port Charlotte area. Significant flooding. So if you're in a low-lying area, you need to get out of there right away. And it's going to come in very quickly. The strong winds are just offshore, and they're starting to come into the Fort Myers area now. Naples are gusting to about 60 miles per hour, some stronger winds just near them. This system's going to come in very quickly. Now, what about the wind damage potential with a Category 4? We expect some direct structural damage. These are the types of things you can expect right at landfall where the hurricane makes landfall and in the strongest wind area. So poorly constructed buildings could completely be destroyed in a Category 4 hurricane. That's extremely deadly situation there. Not to mention the power line situation is going to be more widespread. Power outages are going to be there as well. Keep in mind, we're going to continue to monitor this as it moves across the Florida Peninsula and off to the East Coast. Kristen?
All right, thank you very much. We'll have more on Hurricane Charley coming up next.
Is it true that you guys do more brake jobs than anyone else?
Yes.
And they're guaranteed for as long as I own my car?
Yes.
Come to Midas for great value and service every day. Lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 installed. Guaranteed for as long as you own your car.
Trust the Midas touch.
For mechanics known for their work and their word, trust the Midas touch.
Spider season. Terminix them with our exclusive problem solve guarantee. 1-800-TERMINIX.
She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Hiya! Those cats were fast as lightning.
Wherever you're going, you'll feel really good riding with Geico.
Everybody was kung fu
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The experts at Oral-B are on a mission to protect your teeth and gums with the Oral-B Professional Care 7000. Its 3D action removes more plaque than Sonicare Elite and even reverses gum disease. Oral-B Professional Care. Brush like a dentist.
Orbitz makes it easy to find your trip. The Orbitz Matrix shows more low fares than anyone. More hotels, more cars. Find more. Orbitz and go.
If you want crystal clear glasses, there's no room for the damaging effects of etching. Introducing new Cascade with Shine Shield. Help neutralize the permanent effects of etching. New Cascade with Shine Shield.
Stay tuned. Hurricane coverage will continue on the Weather Channel. Right now, here's your local on the 8s.
Is slingshotting its way toward you. Are things changing quickly?
They really are, Kristen. We're gusting at times 50, 55 miles an hour here. You see debris occasionally floating up, mostly small limbs and whatnot, anything that's loose, paper bags, what have you, they just go flying by. And what's been most amazing to me is how many people are still on the bridge out here, coming across this bridge here. Obviously, people trying to get out of harm's way, or at least I hope that is what's going on. Again, we continue to encourage you to basically hunker down now. We're talking about just kind of staying put. You got to just kind of wait this thing out at this point. It's almost getting too dangerous to be out on the roads. Now listen, we are at a hotel where people have evacuated. Janine Albert from Wink TV here in Fort Myers helping me out. She talked to a few people about how they feel about Charley.
Jim, we're safe in the lobby of this hotel with the wind and the rain outside. A lot of local residents fled to this hotel to get to higher ground. Some of those residents from Cape Coral. You guys, what do you expect to find in your home tomorrow?
A lot of wet stuff, I believe, unfortunately.
You all are only 5 feet above sea level?
8.
8 feet above sea level, so you expect a lot of wind and rain damage.
I sure do.
Hopefully the house will still be there.
I hope so too. Well, we're safe in this hotel, and we'll be talking to you guys. Jim, that's all from down here. Back to you.
All right, guys, here's the deal. Since Donna, 1960, it's going to be the worst hit for Southwest Florida. Probably as well for all of Florida since Andrew in 1992. Here's our deal. We're hunkered down at this very sturdy hotel. We've got a crew of about 12 out here, all right? There's only going to be a certain window when we're going to be able to broadcast for. We're going to lose our signal with the kind of winds we are expecting with this. I can't tell you when that's going to be. It may be an hour or whatnot, but I'll tell you we're going to be inside. We're going to be safe. We'll let you know how we're doing. And certainly, when we can come back to you, we will do that. We will do that. When we can come back live to you, we will do that. All right, that's it here from now from Fort Myers. Folks, bear down and deal with this thing, and I wish you the best of luck. Let's go up north, Tampa Bay. Jeff Morrow standing by. Jeff, how's everybody doing up there?
We're doing better, Jim, obviously. The big, huge metropolitan areas of Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Sarasota, they're breathing a little bit easier right now because it looks like the hurricane is coming in farther south. However, our gain is obviously Lee County's loss down here in Collier County as well. So our hearts go out to all the people being affected down there. Of course, people earlier today were still boarding up in this area, just in case, because as of early this morning, it was still thought that this hurricane would perhaps come up this far north and bring some devastation here. So there was a lot of boarding up, a lot of sandbagging going on as well. Let's take a look at some of the wind gusts around the area if we have them. Again, St. Petersburg gusting up to about 15 miles an hour, and also Sarasota about 12 miles an hour. Again, this is not where the brunt of the storm is right now. And if I could just make a quick point before I throw it back to you guys, Category 4 hurricane, this really reminds me back to Hurricane Hugo back in 1989. And I want everybody to...
All right, we'll get back to Jeff as soon as we can. Our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons, joins us now with the latest. Steve?
Well, in Fort Myers, you just saw Jim there. It's going to get worse very quickly. The core of strong winds is approaching the coast very rapidly, and the winds are going to go up from about 20 to 30 miles per hour to 50 to 60, and then on up over 100 with the core of the strong winds coming in right into the Fort Myers, Port Charlotte area in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. The water is rising already along the coast. Sometimes that takes a little time to get in there, and once it gets in, it takes a longer time to get out. But this is a very powerful hurricane, and it's going to change very, very quickly in the next hour from about, as I said, 30 miles per hour to about 130 miles per hour. Now let's look at the water rise. We talked about this. 18 feet locally within the greater Fort Myers area is possible with this hurricane. If you're in a low-lying area, you need to move away as fast as you can from that low-lying area. But don't go over a causeway. The winds are going to be picking up very fast in the next hour. Now what do we expect? Damage-wise, direct structural damage could be very high in the greater Fort Myers area here from a Category 4 hurricane. You can see it extends up a little bit into the Central Peninsula, but not all that much. But we expect this to remain a hurricane all the way across the Florida Peninsula. You can see here circulation is going to come across and then threaten the southeastern United States over the next few days, and it's moving quickly. So let's look at the inland wind potential. A lot of power lines down, that's a possibility. Power outages and damage. So hurricane force winds could extend all the way across the Florida Peninsula the next 12 hours. Back to you in the studio.
All right, the latest on airport closures coming up next.
That's right. Plus, we'll check out the roads and roads that have already been packed with people trying to get out of town. We'll have the latest on Hurricane Charley's impact on travel coming up next.
We're out of water. That means I can't mix my fiber drink or take fiber pills.
No problem. Try new Benefiber Chewables. Tasty orange cream. No water needed.
We're safe!
New Benefiber Chewables makes taking fiber easier.
I said a little honey bunny, tell me what you're wanting. I got my rabbit ears on and I wanna
Over 8 million drivers feel really good riding with Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm-up's underway. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Wherever life takes you, Best Western is there. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain.
These guys, like family. So when I learned 1 in 3 men faces prostate problems,
he had us switch to One-A-Day Men's.
One-A-Day Men's, a complete multivitamin plus lycopene, which Harvard studies suggest may help prostate health.
Gotta watch out for my guys.
One-A-Day Men's.
Stay tuned. Hurricane coverage will continue on the Weather Channel. Right now, here's your local on the 8s.
You're looking live now at one of the causeways that crisscross the Fort Myers area. As Hurricane Charley makes its approach, winds are going to be picking up very quickly now, and watch out for the very heavy rain and the potential for storm surge as well.
And it's good to see that those roads are clear now, because it's really too late to hit the roads. It is too late because we're looking at the eye of the hurricane, or the eye wall, now about to approach Sanibel Island. Well, here's the latest with some of the wind gusts that are back over across the west coast of Florida. Notice they look fairly weak right here, becoming gustier in Fort Myers. Don't let that fool you, because the winds are going to go way up very, very quickly here off of Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Port Charlotte area, Captiva, Sanibel. Next couple of hours we'll be looking at that.
Not only right along the coast, but we've had reports of winds up to 41 miles an hour at the Orlando International Airport, so some strong thunderstorms developing as well.
Florida is also feeling the impacts, obviously, of the storm right now.
That's right. And joining us is our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. And Greg, do we have tornado warnings right now?
We do have quite a few, especially around the areas near Orlando. Damaging winds pushing into the Orlando area. Let's take a look. Here we have the center of Hurricane Charley coming toward the coastal areas. I've outlined here in this pink dash line, off to the left of that, the west of that, Naples, Fort Myers, Sarasota, Port Charlotte areas beginning damaging winds from the strong winds of Charley. Then it's this band of thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms, pushing north across central Florida, the leading rain band from Charley, really causing quite a problem. Tornado warnings here, red shaded counties all have tornado warnings. This little backwards sea, if you like, little comma head area here has pretty strong circulation in it. It's coming across the Orlando area, especially just to the west of Orlando. Orange County, tornado warning around Windermere, western and southwest parts of Orlando, over toward the airport, coming up toward Apopka. Next county over, Lake County, around Claremont and Leesburg, tornado warnings there. One more county over. That would be Sumter County, around the Bushnell, Center Hill, Sumterville areas. and then one more storm coming in, that one Osceola County, damaging winds and tornadoes a possibility there. Let's switch sources. We'll see as these storms as the hurricane continues off to the north, the most dangerous quadrant is the one that's ahead of and off to the right of. That's in this case to the north and east of the hurricane center. You get those rain bands with thunderstorms and strong shifting winds, give you a great threat of tornadoes. Flooding rains could be in there also, especially over time. Right at the moment, the storms are moving north at 20 to 30, 45 miles per hour, so you'll get a quick inch and a half of rain, but over time we could accumulate up to 6 inches in some places across the Florida Peninsula up into the coastal Carolinas. Then tomorrow into Sunday night, the heavy rains from Charley will spread farther to the north. Coastal Carolinas up into Virginia, up into the Maryland, Pennsylvania, southern New York area could get 4 inches, some places 6 inches or more. And these areas have had a lot of rain yesterday. And so we'll see flooding, flash flooding through Sunday night, Monday morning, as well as river flooding that may go on even beyond that. Severe weather, isolated severe weather, a possibility, in fact, today up into the northeast as well as in the southwest. So very stormy day from Charley and up along that stalled front along the east coast. Kristen? Rich?
All right, thanks, Greg. That's Dr. Greg Forbes, severe weather expert. Of course, a lot of times with landfalling hurricane, you do have these tornadoes, and there have been several reports today. Again, we were looking at that system really bringing the tornadoes to the north. Several reports. Farther south, here comes the eye of the hurricane. It is getting very close to Sanibel Island, the eye wall right there. So Captiva, Fort Myers Beach, those areas, Fort Myers. Don't let this fool you here, because the weather is going to go downhill very, very quickly. The winds are going to pick up very quickly. Let's take a look at some of the highway conditions also, and here's a few reminders out there. You want to avoid Interstate 75, avoid eastbound Interstate 10, and mandatory closures are also being considered. I would say right now, back over toward the Fort Myers area, now's not the time just to start packing up, because the next 1 to 2 hours, the weather is going to go downhill very, very quickly. Also wanted to mention that this system is going to be moving through Florida. There will be gusty winds up through central Florida too, and eventually it's going to hug the coastline, maybe make its way out over the water a little bit. So we will continue to cover Charley as it moves through Florida. Then the next couple of days brings its effects right up the eastern seaboard. And obviously one of those effects will be with the chance of flooding. And of course, with as powerful as this hurricane is, there will be that threat of still the wind damage fairly far to the north. Thunderstorm forecast for today. Isolated severe with those tornadoes with Charley coming inland. We're also looking at isolated severe weather really all the way up the eastern coast. Here's the latest radar picture showing the showers and storms building up for you in the northeast. So a little bit of a stormy day, but this is really just setting the stage what we expect for the next couple days. More rain. Once again, here's Kristen. Oh, okay, let's take a look also at the northeast, where we were looking at all the flood watches, and again we had that chance of that rain coming in not only today with what's left of the first system, but the second one now coming in.
That's right. This is going to be felt all across Florida, but immediately Fort Myers will feel the brunt of this one. We'll continue to follow Hurricane Charley with live reports coming up next.
He's just tasted milk that's been in a fridge without a fresh Arm & Hammer spill-proof fridge and freezer box. It absorbs yucky odors so milk and food taste like they should. Yum! It's also a great way to keep yucky odors out of lunchboxes and coolers between uses, and to freshen under the sink. The spill-proof fridge and freezer pack.
The difference between yuck and yum.
Yum!
Hurricane Charley. Where will it head next? How should you prepare? We're tracking the storm with live reports from the field.
Hunker down, folks. It's going to come in fast. It's going to come in furious with those rain bands this afternoon.
And in-depth expert analysis throughout the day. Find travel delays, see projected paths, continually updated maps, and additional on-location footage at weather.com. Charley coverage continues right here on the Weather Channel, so stay tuned as we keep you ahead of the storm.
What about Paris?
Why not the Caribbean? How can planning your next trip be even better?
Mexico?
Knowing you'll get free award travel.
Hawaii! Yes!
Call to request your Citi Platinum Advantage World MasterCard. You could get 12,500 bonus miles and be halfway to a free travel award on American Airlines or over 25 airlines in the Advantage program. You'll earn 1 mile for every dollar you spend on everyday purchases and on special purchases too. Call to request your Citi Platinum Advantage card and 12,500 bonus miles, because now your miles never expire when you make a purchase with your card once every 3 years. Soon you'll be on the trip you planned. Fly on over 25 top airlines in the Advantage program. Stay at the finest hotels worldwide. And drive with top car rental companies. Call now to request your Citi Platinum Advantage card and 12,500 bonus miles. And you could be halfway to a free travel award.
Stay tuned. Hurricane coverage will continue on the Weather Channel. Right now, here's your local on the 8s.
And welcome back to our tropical update. Before we join Dr. Steve Lyons, we want to check back with our storm tracker Jim Cantori in Fort Myers, Florida.
Jim, we're looking at the hurricane just a little bit off of Sanibel Island. What kind of gusts are you getting where you are?
Rich, we're topping 50, maybe even 60 miles an hour. I'm a little bit protected around this corner of this hotel, but needless to say, it's gusting. It makes that eerie sound. It just cuts right through you. You can see down here in the marina, boats are rocking. The water continues to be slowly rising here, and we really expect that to pick up as we go through the next 20 minutes. Let's find out where this thing is, and let's bring in our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons. Steve, here I am, downtown Fort Myers. How long before this thing gets here, or the worst of it?
It looks like within an hour and 15 minutes, Jim, and the weather's going to go downhill extremely quickly. There you see the circulation just passing Sanibel and Captiva Island, just barely to the north. It's heading right toward the right front quadrant, right toward Fort Myers, downtown area. And that's going to get there probably within an hour, but the weather's going to continue to just go downhill very quickly, and the water's going to rise along the coast very, very quickly. As a matter of fact, it's already rising. How high do we expect it to get in some localized areas? Possibly as high as 18 feet. That's very, very dangerous. Now let's look also at what's going to happen in that 18-foot area. Here's Sanibel Island, Captiva. There are probably already many portions of these areas completely underwater. As it comes into the greater Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and up in here to the Port Charlotte area, many of these low-lying areas will be underwater within the next hour and a half or so. So be very careful if you're in a low-lying area and you can get out of the low-lying area. Do it right now before it gets too bad. But the winds are very strong now, so be careful. Flying debris is going to be occurring very, very quickly. Structural damage, of course, can occur in a Category 4, and this is the area, right in the area we've been talking about for the surge. But it's not just that that's going to happen. That is going to continue all the way across the Florida Peninsula, where we're going to have very high winds. We could have some power outages all the way across, tree damage, minor structural damage all the way to the east coast of Florida with this hurricane. And so don't if you're living in the central portion of the coast, Orlando area, for example, don't think it's a coastal event. It's going to come roaring through at about 20 to 25 miles per hour, and you're very likely to get across the peninsula hurricane-force winds sustained with some higher gusts, and that's enough to do quite a bit of damage as it zooms across the coast. What's it going to do after that? Well, it's going to come across the coastline, and then it's going to come out to sea, and you can see we already have hurricane warnings up from Santee River all the way down to Cocoa Beach. So you can see that it's going to be an East Coast event as well, and it's going to be occurring fairly quickly. So those of you along the East Coast from Cocoa Beach northward and Cape Lookout northward for the hurricane watch, be very careful. Down in this area, we're very likely to have some tropical storm conditions in the next hour and a half or so, and those will linger for another 12 hours. So very, very strong winds. The good news down here is that the system is going to be moving offshore. What that means is that all the wave action will be generated offshore, and only the surge on the north side will be coming back toward the coastline. The other thing about the East Coast, the winds will be quite a bit weaker by the time they get there. In the meantime, this portion of the coastline is not going to be weaker, and we're going to get the full brunt of the storm, the strong hurricane, within the next 30 minutes or so.
All right. Thank you very much, our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons.
As we leave you here, these are pictures from Fort Myers with the eye of the Hurricane Charley just off of Sanibel Island. Conditions will go down over the next couple of hours as the winds continue to increase.
Look closely at history in the making. This is the rarest U.S. $20 gold piece and the single most valuable coin ever struck. Our Treasury Department estimates its worth at up to $8 million. It's the only legal tender coin of its kind in existence. Now you can reserve your own government-issued 1933 $20 gold coin for face value, just $20. What made one single coin worth millions of dollars? It's a story stranger than fiction. When President Roosevelt ordered the destruction of gold coins in 1933, one single coin escaped meltdown. Then it was stolen, bought, hidden, and finally seized by the Treasury Department and sealed in a vault at Fort Knox. Now it has become the single most valuable coin ever struck when it was auctioned in New York City on July 30th, 2002. Now, the 1933 $20 double eagle gold coin lives again in this U.S. territorial minting of the 1933 double eagle from CNMI. It's the first government-issued coin in the prized U.S. Rarity Series, and it's available exclusively from the National Collector's Mint while supplies last. Lady Liberty is magnificently engraved in frosted relief on a brilliant mirror finish background. On the reverse, the majestic American eagle hovers in flight as if guiding the amazing journey of the historic coin. Each 1933 gold double eagle coin comes with an individually numbered certificate of authenticity. The final issue price is set at $39 each. But during this limited striking period, you can own this authentic gold double eagle coin for face value, just $20. Each is 24-karat gold clad and is guaranteed to be in proof condition. Orders accepted on a first-come, first-served basis. Strict limit of 5 coins per caller. Don't miss out on this historic offer. Call now.
To order your 1933 Gold Double Eagle proof, call 1-800-679-0962. That's 1-800-679-0962. Strict limit of 5 proofs per caller. Call now.
Well, you're now definitely feeling the impact of winds from Hurricane Charley as it closes in on Fort Myers and Sanibel Island. Of course, we'll keep you updated with the latest on Hurricane Charley as it is approaching now the coast of Florida.
It's a whopper. Well, our hurricane coverage will continue, but first we want to kind of take a step back and remind you that we do have the Olympics. The opening ceremonies are beginning, and here's a look at one event that's going to be taking place, and you can see the soccer for women's soccer team back in action on Saturday. There's the forecast.
Well, of course, we're going to keep you updated with the latest on Florida, or I should say with the hurricane approaching Florida. It looks like the next couple of hours is when we'll be seeing it move up toward Fort Myers, and Port Charlotte.
I didn't know what to do.
Sometimes it's hard to remember my own grandson's name.
He had trouble doing even everyday things.
These problems may not be normal aging. They could be early signs of Alzheimer's. And studies show the sooner Alzheimer's is treated, the better. Call now now to get the memory checklist. Free from the makers of Aricept, the #1 prescribed Alzheimer's medicine. It tells you what to look for and if it's time to see a doctor. If it's mild to moderate Alzheimer's, Aricept can help. It is well tolerated, but not for everyone. Some people experience fainting. Common side effects are nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, not sleeping well, muscle cramps, feeling tired, or not feeling hungry. In studies, these were usually mild and temporary.
Aricept is helping him do better.
Call 1-800-367-3487 for the answers you need. If it's Alzheimer's, Aricept can help you fight back.
Wouldn't it be convenient if getting your weather was this easy? Now it is. Desktop Weather by the Weather Channel. Always right here on your computer with all you need for every kind of weather. Always on, convenient, free from weather.com.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider. You can also get reliable forecasts from the Weather Channel through this radio station.
Stay tuned. Hurricane coverage will continue on the Weather Channel. Right now, here's your local on the 8s. Now, hurricane coverage continues on the Weather Channel.
Winds are whipping the palms in Fort Myers.
That's right, a very powerful Hurricane Charley is fast approaching the Florida coast. And good afternoon, I'm Kristen Dodd.
And I'm Rich Johnson. We remain in storm alert here at the Weather Channel. Hurricane Charley has sent tornadoes over parts of not only South Florida, Central Florida. Now we're looking at the wind damage. We've had some wind damage also into Miami. Tornado watch also covers the central part of Florida.
Now, Charley is now a major hurricane with winds of more than 145 miles an hour as it churns and brushes up against the coastline of Florida's western coast there. And you can see that the latest Doppler radar does show some of the stronger winds in that outer band around the eye, getting very close to Captiva.
Now we have our best in the field as Charley heads up the coast.
That's right. Jeff Morrow is located in North Reddington Beach near Tampa, and Jim Cantori is in Fort Myers where they are feeling the impact of the storm right now. Jim, what's the latest?
Well, Kristen, I want to show you what's going on here in the river. First of all, you have all these boats in the marina, and they are pretty much tied down. But it's been an interesting day, that's for sure. Janine Albert's helping us out from Wink TV here in Fort Myers, and she's telling me that there's a lot of people that are actually owning boats that are going to ride this thing out on the river, believe it or not. And we got a chance to hear it firsthand from this guy.
and you can't leave them too loose, otherwise the boat beats up against the dock. Got the engine all warmed up, ready to go, so run out of dock, I'm going to back it up, take it out and anchor it.
Well, obviously we are not advising anything like that here at the Weather Channel. We would never advise that. We want you to be safe. We don't care about your stuff. We want you to be safe, and that is the key here. Basically, it is crunch time. It is time to hunker down and take it easy. We don't know how much longer we can broadcast for, but we've got a plan. We're going to head into this hotel and get out of harm's way and come back at you as soon as we can to give you an idea of what Fort Myers certainly experienced. But all in all, you can see out here just an absolute change even in the last hour. The wind continues to be consistent, 50, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts coming in through here, a lot of wave action even in the river, and this river, what you're looking at, is going to come up on this street before all is said and done. Remember, we're going to get rise. That's the surge, and you're not going to believe how fast it comes in. Power's going to go out. Don't be scared. Just realize that's going to happen. Even if you don't get the gusty winds, a lot of the folks may just kind of shut down that power to save those grids. This is going to be the worst hurricane I've been in through a while, and I'll definitely let you know what we're going through here as soon as we can come back at you. Right now, let's go up to the north to Tampa Bay, where they may have dodged one a little bit. Jeff, how's everybody feeling up there? A little bit better, I hope.
Yeah, they are feeling better, but we all feel for you down there, Jim, and all the folks down there in Lee and Collier counties especially. And I know that Sanibel Island there, Captiva, is a huge vacation area, and it just looks like they're going to take a direct hit from the eastern eye wall. Here, again, it's I don't know if it's breathing a sigh of relief. I think a lot of folks are starting to do that. We're not quite out of the woods here yet as far as this hurricane. It has to pass us by, but it does look like it'll pass by to the east, and that is taking a lot of pressure off of the Gulf as far as coming in. In fact, it doesn't look like it will do that. The winds here on the west side of the hurricane is going to blow basically offshore. Now, these were seen shot just within the last hour or two, and you can see how deserted it is here at North Reddington Beach, up and down the beach, actually from Clearwater all the way down to St. Pete Beach. Again, it's just a ghost town, mini ghost town actually, as everybody has really evacuated out of this area. All right, here's some of the winds, and again, they're not all that strong this far north. They are going to pick up today, so again, watch out later today, folks. We're talking about the biggest gust there, 18 miles an hour at Clearwater, St. Petersburg. So again, it will pick up, and we are going to continue to get some fairly heavy rain. Last hour, before I lost my light, I was trying to make the point that this reminds me a lot of Hugo. It's not just going to be a coastal storm. It is right now, but the center of this is going to be like a buzzsaw that goes through central Florida, and there's going to be damage inland, maybe even up to Orlando. So be aware of that if you are in those areas. Kristen, let's get back to you.
All right, thank you very much, our Jeff Morrow.
Now, hurricane expert Dr. Steve Lyons, he's joined us now. He has the latest information on Charley. Steve, it looks like we have that eye of the hurricane just off of Captiva. What does that mean for places like Charlotte Harbor?
Well, that looks like ground zero for the right front quadrant, which is a danger quadrant for the surge. You see the circulation right there. It's just try to shy away at the last second there from the coastline. But here's Charlotte Harbor right in here, and the right front quadrant is going to come in there within the next hour or so. So the only good thing I can say about this hurricane is that the core of strong winds is very small. So down here toward the Naples area, you're going to get a good blow and some minor coastal flooding, but the core of strong winds is going to be in northern Fort Myers, Punta Gorda area, Port Charlotte area over the next couple of hours, where that water rise is going to be significant. And here's the location of some of those areas, these low-lying areas here. It looks like it's going to come right in through here within the next hour and a half, making landfall as a Category 4 hurricane. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this area, let me just show you. This is sort of a population density multiplied by a cost and value of homes, and you can see this whole area is rather expensive, and so we could see a lot of damage in the greater Port Charlotte, Fort Myers area over the next 24 hours. But that's not the only area we could see some damage from it. The extreme damage from structures is going to be local to the coastline, but damage from trees and power lines and the potential for wind of hurricane force and tropical storm force to come all the way across the coast is great. Here's our hurricane swath right here, coming right through Orlando. So if you have a heavily treed area in Orlando, you're likely to have power outages there as the system comes through very quickly at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So well inland, we're going to see some effects, and then we're going to have to monitor offshore the Carolinas.
All right, let's show you a view of Hurricane Charley from outer space and how it will impact your week coming up.
Flywire.com. Fly, sleep, drive, cheap.
Homeowners, what if you could get up to 4 loan offers with just one phone call? What if the lenders were perfectly matched to your individual needs? What if you could negotiate directly with the lenders to get your best deal, even if your credit is less than perfect? Well, now you can. And best of all, the service is free. One phone call, 4 loan offers, one great deal. Only at America's Lending Partners. Apply online or call 1-888-ALP-6474.
Mrs. Tillman.
Thank you, Mr. Tillman. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Second down and 9 from the...
Everything's different now. Is your old car insurance company good enough anymore? Now's the time to move up to a State Farm agent. Someone who's there for the long haul, with a price that's very compatible.
I love you.
Life gets better. Shouldn't your car insurance company?
Laxatives like that can cause cramps.
Huh?
Try new Phillips Caplets.
What's the difference?
Phillips effectively relieves constipation overnight without cramps because it's stimulant-free.
I'm switching to Phillips.
Phillips, effective relief, cramp-free.
Stay tuned. Hurricane coverage will continue on the Weather Channel. Right now, here's your local on the 8s.